hear from Julia about the plight facing parents of students with disabilities.
Thank you. For years now, parents of students with disabilities have been stuck in the middle of conflicting messages. School boards say the province isn't giving enough money to meet the needs of students with disabilities. The province says boards are getting more than ever. And families like ours, we're standing in the crossfire, forced to fight for our kids' basic rights, an education that meets their needs, while schools are left trying to fill the gaps they were never built to handle. What we know is this: too often, our kids' needs are not being met in school. And I want to be clear. Educators want to do the right thing. Teachers, EAs, principals, they all care deeply. But they're working in a system that simply isn't keeping up with the needs of the students inside the schools. There is no roadmap when navigating childhood disability. Potential diagnoses, specialists, therapies, or the long delays in services that leave families and schools scrambling. We figure it out ourselves, usually by ourselves. It's overwhelming and it's exhausting. It can stretch families to the breaking point, mentally, emotionally, financially. We are burnt out. Some parents are juggling multiple children with different disabilities. Some are single parents or caring for aging parents at the same time as their own disabled children. Some are newcomers to this country and are unaware of how to navigate the system or face language barriers that prevent them from accessing supports. This is everyday life for so many families across this province. And instead of trusting that the school system and ultimately the government will meet their child's needs, parents have had to become navigators and advocates just to get their child's basic needs met. They have to figure out what supports even exist, whether their child qualifies, who to talk to, and how to push for it. Too often, by the time parents finally get answers, the support being advocated has arrived only partially, if it arrives at all, and valuable time has been lost, leaving children with disabilities overwhelmed and under-supported in schools. And when parents hit a wall, they should be able to call an elected official, like a trustee, who can cut through the confusion and get real answers. That's the bare minimum families deserve. Our kids don't get do-overs. Every year matters. We're speaking here today to make sure the voices of parents and families are finally heard. Thank you.
Julia, as a parent, I guess how often were you contacting trustees for help, for support?
I know that within my membership of our group, families are contacting trustees regularly to resolve issues. I myself, my kids just started kindergarten, so I have contacted my trustee in the first few months that we've had in school so far, but families are overwhelmingly contacting trustees to help mediate between difficulties between the school boards, the schools not giving the supports that they need. They're talking to the principals, trying to resolve it with the superintendent. It's coming back and forth, and the trustee is the intermediary between the parents and the school board in order to resolve situations that need more attention. So definitely they are contacting them on a regular basis for that support, and I would argue that trustees' work is, a lot of it has to do with special education concerns, because that is our level of government that we can go to access that support, to advocate for us. Without that trustee or this oversight, there is nobody. The supervisors in the 5 appointed boards are not responsive. They're not responding to emails or calls or parent queries, even organizational queries. They're not responding to anyone. And in fact, I just sat with my MPP on Friday and said, like, is this going to cause more demand on your office? And this is something that your office has been set up to handle. This is the work of the trustees. This is their expertise. And they need to be in that role and given the power and authority to do their job well so that they can serve the communities.
Is there anyone else in the system tasked with advocating advocating for our students with disabilities at the local level?
Us.
There is no one within the school systems, if that's what you're asking.
There yeah, go ahead.
Within the structure of the school boards, parents take that on as themselves and build community around each other. That's how the Ontario Autism Coalition came about. That's how my group, Ontario Parents for Education Support, came about, is we are on islands all by ourselves trying to navigate this system in a storm around us, and we don't know where we're going. And the impact is for kids is that in classes that, let's say, used to be a cap of 6 students, year after year that has increased. So maybe now 8 students, maybe 10 students, maybe we're sitting at 12 students. That's double that it was originally supposed to start at. And so when we go to trustees and say our kids require a smaller class setting, more specified to their disability type, there is not enough classes for our students, our children to go to. They're reducing the amount of classes year after year. Because if you think about it from a financial perspective, it's a lot more expensive to put 6 students in a class than it is to put 12 or 15 or 25. And so our kids are looked at as a high budget item, but really, they're not getting an education otherwise, because that's why those classes were designed in the first place. And so if we're not meeting the needs in the schools by having specialized classes, by having educational assistants that work with the students so that they can succeed in mainstream classes, right now, educational assistants are overburdened. They're overstretched. They might have a caseload of up to 8 kids or more of different disabilities that they're supposed to help. Educational assistants are the only ones in the schools that are allowed to do toileting and changing. So if there's somebody that's absent, a child might not be changed for the whole day. That's undignified. That's not what we should be doing in order to support students and support children. So if we're thinking about the needs in the schools, trustees are there and have been there for us to advocate, to continue to have these classes, to continue to have supports. And when their decisions are being overturned by ministry appointed supervisors who do not have a democratic elected voice, that's where we are going to run into issues, and our children are going to be the ones that are going to pay the price.